So we're going to do a little video here on how I acquired another Mercedes, turbo diesel swapped it, and actually made money off the whole process. I got paid to do this to my car and I get the car. So this is gonna, I've been planning this for a little while. I'm really excited to make this happen. So stick with me. It's gonna be a little bit of a longer video and I hope you all enjoy. How we doing, y'all? I haven't posted in a while. I'm sorry for that, but life kind of gets to you sometimes. But I'm taking a week off of work here and I ended up picking up these two cars. This one here is a 1980 230 SE or CE. It was actually imported from Germany. It was driven in Germany for a few years, and it was shipped over here, converted to left-hand drive. Crash bars put in the doors, just basically make it street legal in the U.S. And over there's a 1984 or 85, I can't remember, 300 SE, and I ended up getting these for $300 for the pair. I seen them sitting out behind a barn, just a couple miles up the road from me, actually. This guy here has the 4-cylinder gas engine M115, and the previous owner had actually put water in the cooling system instead of antifreeze, and it froze and cracked the block. Only has 60,000 miles on it. And this guy here only has, well, I'd say only 200,000, but anyone who knows these diesel engines, they are very high mileage engines. But the car itself is completely rotted out. The front end's about ready to fall out of it. The interior's trashed. I mean, it's not worth saving the car. So what I'm going to end up doing is yank this turbo diesel engine out. It's the 3-liter OM617 turbo diesel, and I'm going to set it in that guy over there. And the old dirty Merc, she's getting retired. I'm going to drop some parts off of it to put into that one, and the rust is just getting way too bad on that unit. It's not be safe anymore. I got the skid loader warming up there in the barn. I'm gonna get this guy pushed up on some ramps, and same with that one. I'm gonna start getting the engines out of these. That's my goal for today, is to get the engines out of both of these cars. Let me show you this interior. It's real messy right now. It sat for about 5 years, but only has 66,000 miles on it. Black interior, which is kind of hard to find in these units. I really like the seat, the way they're upholstered. It's got like leather on the outsides and then gray striped cloth on the insides of them. But these neat chrome Mercedes Benz covers on the rockers. Crank windows. No sunroof on this. But yeah, we're gonna get started and hope you guys enjoy this video. So I got both the cars up on ramps, and I'm gonna get the hoods taken off now. I think I'm gonna get this motor yanked out first. Yeah, I'm gonna get that hood off, and literally just a motor mount on each side. There's a transmission mount underneath, and then a little front motor mount underneath. I'll unhook the drive shaft, undo those motor mounts, and then it should, fingers crossed, pull out. I think I'm gonna have to pull it out at a real steep angle though, because the firewall clearance, the radiator's already out of this. But I think I'm gonna have to bring it forward and tip it back at a real steep angle to keep from catching on that firewall back there. But I'm not gonna bore you with all that stuff right now. I'm just gonna get it done and give you guys an update in a little bit. Alrighty guys, we have the engine and transmission out of this unit here. Ran into a couple difficulties, a couple tools I didn't have, I had to run and get, so that set me back a couple of hours having to run and buy and borrow some stuff, but got it out pretty easily. Caught this here with the skid loader tire, just pulled that off, but that'll just go right back on there. But yep, so now just got to get this unit out. So I'm hoping that with this being a 124 or 126 body style, I can't remember off the top of my head what this is, but there's a couple differences as far as like transmission mounts and a little bit of wiring. This here is going to be my biggest concern, is the throttle on this actually rotates back and forth versus the setup on that. It just comes up and down from the gas pedal. So I'm gonna have to figure that out, but I'm gonna start working on getting this guy out, and we'll be back shortly. Alrighty guys, so it's today's Tuesday now. I ended up stopping last night around 4 o'clock, but I got the engine out of the black 126 here. That came out pretty easily. I'm thinking, I've been reading some I've had some conflicting opinions on whether to install these with the motor attached to the transmission or to separate them. And I think I'm just going to go ahead and put them in together. I ended up picking up a load leveler from Harbor Freight this morning, so we're going to see how that works with the skid loader. It's definitely not going to be easy, but I think we'll get it in there. So now I'm going to get this guy cleaned up, just check everything over, and make sure we're not going to have any issues to worry about once it's in the car, because I'd rather take care of anything on it now instead of while everything's out in the open, you know. But a little bit oily, definitely needs a valve cover gasket, but I'm going to take care of that later on when I adjust the valves in it. So I got the engine out of that bad boy there, and gave it a hose down. I'm gonna let it dry and then spray some degreaser on it and get that cleaned off a little bit more. So predicament I'm into now is, and I'll bring you over here to my old silver one and show you what I'm talking about. These aluminum motor mount arms are different than the 126 I just pulled that engine out of. So I'm going to have to pick the motor up in this just a little bit, enough to get those perches out, and steal those, put them on that engine over there so it'll fit inside of here. But that's about what I'm going to do now. And hopefully, I'm thinking this side is going to be a real pain, because it's all the mounting bolts holding it on the engine are tucked up underneath the injection pump, so that's not going to be too fun to get out of there. But gotta do what I gotta do, I guess. Alrighty, y'all, we are at day 3 of our engine swap here. The passenger side engine mount arm off on my gray car, and this this one here has been a nightmare. I had to undo the oil cooler lines, the power steering lines, got the engine jacked up, but come to take it loose, and there's on the bottom of that injection pump, there is a bolt sticking down out of the injection pump to where that arm will not clear. So I think I'm going to have to take that rubber mount off as well, so I can angle that arm down enough to get it to come out from underneath that injection pump. So that's what I'm going to do now, and hopefully that shouldn't take me too long. I'm going to get that engine set down in here today. There's a good little bit of wiring missing. I'm not sure exactly. And it's the passenger side mount I got off. I'm not sure exactly how this here was set up. I know the positive cable coming off the battery was missing from the car when I got it. So between salvaging what I can of this and then using some wire off the 300 SD, I'm pretty confident I'll be able to get it to work. So yeah, I will get back with you guys shortly. Everything looks like it's gonna fit in pretty well, so hopefully, fingers crossed, get the engine bolted in today. So I am once again running into town for a tool that I don't have. I need a 6mm short Allen bit to fit on a 3/8 inch drive ratchet, and I got long ones, but there's not enough room in there to get that bolt out with a long bit. So gotta run, hopefully the parts store, they have one. I just need the one bit. I don't need a whole damn set. I just need one bit. And AutoZone's got quite a bit of single odd sockets and shit like that. So I swear I'm spending more time driving to get parts or anything like that, tools I don't have, than I am actually working on this damn thing. So hopefully this will be the last parts run of the day. It's already almost 10 o'clock and I've been up since 8 o'clock, took the kids to daycare, and I probably only put 45 minutes of work into this thing today. So, alrighty, well, I will get back with you once I get that motor mount pad out. And of course, they were out of stock of the only one that I needed, so I had to get myself a little set. Oh well, you can never have too many tools. Well, finally got that driver's side mount out. I'm not proud of how I did it. I had to, let's see if I get the camera down in there so you can see. But, how is it? So on that one mount down there, or that one stud down there, I don't know if you can see it, but I had to actually sawzall the one stud off so I could get that mount to drop down enough to clear the injection pump. I do plan on using this engine to, I don't know, maybe put it into an S10 or something one of these days. So I'll just have to buy a new stud to put in there. But the mount is out. That's all that matters. How we can get these put on the turbo diesel. On today's episode of How Many Times Can We Run Into Town in One Day? Had to get myself a drill. Why do you ask? Well, the one I've had for quite a few years finally decided to burn up on me. Well, why do I need a drill, you ask? Because every single job is just one broken bolt away from disaster. It's taking the alternator off and snap, so I'm going to try and drill that out. I get the alternator from the gray car put on here, and yeah, that's where I'm at now. My hands look like this, so the debit card in her hands can read declined. So I ended up having to completely drill out that bolt that was in there, because I was breaking off bolt extractors left and right. That sucker was stuck in there. So I'm gonna run down to the hardware store and get a bolt, 3/8 bolt, to just completely run through here, and just put a nut on the end of it out here, and we won't have any issues with that, doing it that way. So yeah, that's where we're at here with this. And we got the oil cooler line from the 123 body style put on. I ended up going with that because the other one down there, it had been rubbing on the belt, and it was about ready to pop through. This one here, it leaks a little bit, but I'm gonna end up ordering a new line for it, because the one in the gray car leaks too. I don't want to put a leaky line on it. But yeah, that's where we're at here. when I order that line, I'll probably get the top line too, that runs under the motor mount instead of above it. Just because, I mean, I don't really care for the way that sticks out like that, but it'll get us by for now. Yeah, I think we are ready to drop it in. Also just did away with the AC compressor because it was locked up solid, and I honestly don't care about AC. That's why we have windows. But yeah, I put a rubber glove there so I didn't get shavings in the transmission coolant line. But yeah, I think we're gonna get this set down, get the load leveler put on it, and see if we can't get this dropped in. Alrighty, so we are ready to get this dropped in the car. I don't know, the way today's been going, I hope I can catch a break here. I hope this just right in, but I don't know. I don't have much faith in that, but we'll see. I get the tripod set up and do a little time lapse of getting it dropped in, and just fingers crossed this goes well. So I didn't realize that this transmission mount bracket needs to be moved back one set of holes. So I guess that because of that other drivetrain being a little bit shorter. So that's what I'm doing now. I'm probably gotta use the drive shaft out of my gray 300D as well, because that's not gonna clear. So just about got the engine set in. It's still being held up by the loader, but I mean it's in the cradle. So I'm gonna get this out, move that back, and then get that drive shaft taken out. Alright, so I ended up running out of time yesterday to show you guys, but I got the engine dropped in. I'm gonna have to chop this downpipe off a little bit because it's not clearing the firewall. I have to come back about a ½ an inch more yet to be down in the motor mounts. But I'm just gonna end up running a piece of flex pipe up to the downpipe there, because this downpipe is meant for the 126 style, so it's not going to clear that firewall. But I'm going to take care of that real quick, get all this bolted down. I had to steal the transmission mount bracket off of the gray car because it sits further back with having the 5-cylinder than that 4-cylinder did. And also I'm going to have to take the drive shaft from the gray car. Luckily, it has brand new flex discs on it. I put those on, probably about 15,000 miles ago. So that'll be just fine. But that's what I'm going to get to now. And then once everything's all bolted down, then I'm going to start getting hoses and wiring hooked up. hopefully today or early tomorrow we'll be able to get this thing fired up and moving. So today is Friday. I did not record anything really yesterday because yesterday was not a good day for this. I spent all day fighting getting the transmission bolted in. Apparently, with this being the 722.3 transmission out of the 126, it's a little bit longer. The tail shaft is just slightly longer than the transmission, the 722.1 out of this car, the 123 originally. So what I ended up doing is I modified the transmission bracket, mount bracket out of the gray car there. I slotted the holes and actually flipped the mount backwards, and that got it to bolt in. I'm probably going to fabricate something a little bit better in the near future, just because I don't really like how that is right now. But it's going to hold. I just got the drive shaft bolted in. Now all we got to do is just get wiring and fuel hooked up to it, and get the hose, the power steering and oil cooler hoses, radiator put in, and started. That's my goal for today. So I'll be back with you all in a little bit. All right, so I have everything hooked up as far as oil cooler hoses, transmission line hoses, and just the electrical just to get the starter going. And I also kind of made a little makeshift harness for the glow plugs so I can run them. I got the fuel system primed, and we are going to just give this a little test start just to make sure we're not leaking any oil or any fluids like that. I don't have coolant in it yet. I wanted to start it up before I put coolant in it, just in case there is something wrong. But this is going to be our very first start with a new turbo diesel engine in it. So here we go. Listen to that kitty purr.